Donald Trump is at it again. This time, of course, he is trying to make America's military great again by signing executive orders this week that will ban transgenders from serving in the military and, of course, getting rid of all of the DEI training programs the military has become infamous for. Now, these, of course, are all excellent moves that will hopefully make our military more efficient, more deadly, and more able to protect Americans. But before we get to the clips today, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
So Trump just signed an executive order banning transgender people from the military. Let me tell you what this means. First of all, number one, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, there are upwards of 15,000 trans people that are serving, quote unquote, in the United States military right now. The first thing that I'm going to tell you is that all of these people are non-deployable. What that means is that if you are a transgender identified person that is quote unquote serving in the United States military right now, you are non-combat deployable. So these people cannot deploy to combat theaters. When the United States is involved in any sort of conflict overseas, transgender people literally cannot be deployed. What this means is that you've got a lot of people that are sucking up taxpayer funds, sitting in an office somewhere, maybe they're doing pack clerk work, etc., but they are non-combat deployable. This does not bode well for Pete Hegseth's mission of a lethal military. The second thing is that the vast majority of transgender people, when they separate from the United States military, do so by medically separating. This means that they are at 80 to 100% disability. And so now what that means is that they are on the taxpayers, they're on the hook, taxpayers are on the hook, for $200,000 to $300,000 per year annually of quote unquote transgender healthcare, which is also covered by the VA. So every single transgender person that separates from the military via medical discharge is covered by the VA for their hormones or their whatever it is that the trans person is on, that is covered by the VA because they are medically separated. This costs American taxpayers to the tune upwards of 6 figures per person, all right? Third of all, gender dysphoria is a documented mental illness, which means that we have these people that are not only non-combat deployable, they are also costing the U.S. taxpayer $100,000 plus per year for their health care, and they also have a documented mental health condition. This is why Trump has signed or is about to sign the executive order banning transgender people from the military because the military is not a medical experiment. Taxpayers should not be footing the bill for this. And also, on a personal note, if you know anything about my history, I am a gay soldier, I'm a gay veteran. I actually protested to end a national until the law that banned gay and lesbian soldiers from serving openly. Trans got sort of added to that at the last minute. And I will not say who this person is, but I was involved in liberal activism with more than one trans-identified soldier back in the day. And what I will tell you, and again, I'm not going to say this person's name, but the receipts are all out there on the internet. This is one of the most mentally unstable people I have ever dealt with in my entire life. And the thought of sharing a military combat unit with somebody, and this was a quote-unquote transgender woman, somebody that was this unstable, gives me a lot of pause, and it even gave me pause back then. So when you think about the fact that Trump is banning trans from the military, I want you to think about those facts.
So that there is Rob Smith, who's actually been a big-time Fox contributor in the past, and he is a gay veteran. Not that there's anything wrong with that, right? But the idea here is, yes, if these trans people are non-deployable, then what good are they in the military? Yes, we have to have desk jockeys and people collecting statistics and data, etc., secretaries, right? All those positions need to be filled. But would you like to have someone doing that who has a mental health condition, right? It doesn't sound like a good idea to me, not to mention the fact that, yes, we are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on free treatment for all of these people who want to transition, get their hormone therapies, right? Get their laser hair removal, all of that stuff, right? It is a huge waste of taxpayer dollars. So of course, this might be also something for the Doge department to look into, okay? So if you want to make our fighting force more lethal and more effective, then why in the world would you allow the transgenders into the military in the first place? If they can't fight and they're nothing but a net drain on the overall tax dollars we are trying to supply our military with. And recently, of course, there have been a slew of videos online of all of these transgender members actually bragging about the treatments they're getting at your expense. So it's really hard to combat any of this.
Not a day goes by that I'm not grateful to be serving at this period of time. Being able to undergo a full gender transition beyond hormones, laser hair removal, Botox, lip injections, hair lowering, like literally cannot be more thankful to be alive now.
So yeah, it's really hard to look at that testimonial and really think that this person is joining the military to serve the country and protect the nation. It really seems like they're only in it for the transition. They're only in it for the free medical services that should not be provided by the U.S. military at our expense, all right? And I can't imagine this person actually being a lethal force on the fighting field. And as we just learned, he's not allowed to go anywhere near combat, apparently. So go ahead and get your surgeries. Go ahead and live your best life. Go ahead and do all of that stuff, just not on American taxpayers' dime and not at the safety of security of America itself. But of course, the trans community is still very worried about all of this.
Since Donald Trump re-entered office, has your experience changed, especially in the wake of some of these executive orders you alluded to? Last week, he rolled back protections for transgender people, such as segregating federal prisons by sex assigned at birth and only recognizing two sexes, saying that they're not changeable. How has that impacted you?
It has impacted me personally, as I think it has all trans people in this country, because these are not executive orders that change the laws of the United States. They are intended to create a public terrorism campaign against our community. And of course, I have felt that as a public-facing advocate for trans rights in Minnesota and across the country. The intention of this is not to change the law immediately, because he simply cannot do that. The intention of this is to create panic, to get media to repeat all of the dangers that we face over and over, to make sure that people think twice about participating in the public space. And as a leader in the trans community, I will not be pushed out, and I will continue to advocate. And as a result of that, I would say that I have had a very hard week.
Minnesota State Representative Lee Finke, I'm sorry to hear that you've had such a hard week. Thank you for coming on.
Maybe it's just me being callous, but I don't feel bad for this guy at all. Oh, I've had a real bad week because Donald Trump came out and said something we all know is true, that yes, there's only two genders. And even worse, he said that if you're a man, you have to go to male prison, and if you're a woman, you have to go to female prison. This is crazy talk, right? And if you plan to join the military, you will not be allowed, because we all know you're just a little bit mentally unstable and shouldn't be trusted on the front lines, where you're not allowed to go anyway, as per the first segment. So yes, Donald Trump is doing everything right. He's making all the correct decisions to make America safe and great again, and I am thankful that he is in office as opposed to the horrible Kamala Harris. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.